Ex-Senate President Wabara writes Sowore backs October 20 protest to demand Nnamdi Kanu's release. Okay? At former Senate President Adolphus Wabara has expressed his support for the planned nationwide protest scheduled for October 20, 2025, calling for the release of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In a solidarity letter addressed to human rights activist and convener of the protest, Omoyele Sowore, 7-year-old Wabara commended the effort of Nigerians who continue to speak up for justice, equity, and national reconciliation. Although he noted that he would be out of the country and unable to participate in the protest physically, the former Senate President affirmed his moral support for the movement. Okay, well, thank you for your moral support. The letter reads, I have been informed about the planned protest on 20th of October calling for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I wish to commend your efforts and those of others who continue to speak up for justice and fairness in our country. Unfortunately, I am out of the country and will not be able to join you physically on that day. However, please note that I am with you in spirit and in full support of every peaceful effort aimed at securing justice and national reconciliation. I wish you and all participants a peaceful and successful outing, he added. Wabara served as Nigeria's Senate President from 2003 to 2005. So, what's the background of this story? Sahara Reporter reported on Monday, October 13, that Sowore commenced mobilization for the planned October 20th Free Nnamdi Kanu March protest at the Presidential Villa, demanding the immediate and unconditional release of the detained IPOB leader. Sowore on Thursday, October 9, announced October 20th as the date for a protest march to the Presidential Villa, Abuja, to demand the release of Kanu, who has been detained by the Department of State Services (DSS) since June 2021. Following his arrest and extraordinary redemption from Kenya, Sowore said, "We now have a date for the historic Free Nnamdi Kanu Now protest march to the Aso in Abuja. It is October 20th at 7 a.m. On Tuesday, October 7, Sowore called on political leaders and other stakeholders from the Southeast region to join him in a peaceful march to the Presidential Villa, Abuja, to demand the immediate release of the IPOB leader. In a post on his ex, formerly Twitter account, Sowore had written, "I will set aside my differences with some politicians for one cause. I challenge every politician or persons of good conscience from the Southeast who says they want Nnamdi Kanu released to stop the rhetoric. Time for action is now. Let's march to Aso Rock Villa." Okay, now let's see how that works out. 20th is almost here. That's on Monday. Sunday says, very good, Biafra must be free too. Okay? Ejaya Uche says, yes, you are not like Ojo Zokalu who is waiting for Tinubu to decide for him. Ojo Zokalu is probably one of those that doesn't want Nnamdi Kanu to be released. That doesn't want him out of prison. So, Simon Oduna says, if you are neutral in situation of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. Desmond Tutu. Salaka says, time to separate light and darkness in the east. Gradually, they are undergoing a process. Ibe Tomike says, we have October 20th is the quote, sir. Sowore, we are with you. Joshua Chima says, I've never voted in Nigeria before, but you see that 2027. I must vote for Sowore. At least allow him to succeed with what he wants to do first before he start making promises that you will not keep up. And before that's how you make promises now that you will not keep. Okay. Tajuoke says, I will join the protest if Kanu's children and Sowore's families join the protest. Who is asking you to join? If you don't want to join, don't join and stay. One Andrew says, all men of goodwill should join in asking for the freedom of Nnamdi Kanu. His is persecution and not prosecution. Egbede Obio says, pains landed in northern Nigeria. Okay. Owama says, Kanu is a man of wisdom and peace and he's a man of justice. That is why Nigerian government refused to release him, because Nigerian government is enemy of justice and peace. Great King says, Peter B said the matter is in court and we should follow the law and negotiate. Okay? Linus Ogochukwu says, any Igbo politician that didn't back Nnamdi Kanu's release from DSS custody is not electable come 2027. Okay now. James Aja Odo says those power hunters will be in shock and the plan may equally change their game to be undesirable. Chu Samuel says the zoo called Nigeria is on a time bomb. Omoru Isa says the good ones are gradually exonerating themselves while the enemies within are stuck and confused. Isaiah Oluka says if he's an APC government, could he have done that? If he's in APC government, could he have done that? I don't know. Cosmo says, let us not forget in a hurry the freedom story of great Israel over their masters, which General Pharaoh was the pilot. The end was so sad. Chibuzo Hakwe says the protest should be held in 2 separate days, one for the release of MNK, 2 for the arrest of Ojo Zokalo, who so deemed to be made Senate president. Ozochukwu says a true great Igbo son, any true Igbo man knows what MNK is fighting and agitating for, independent of entire black race and Igbo man in particular. Prince Hamza says, hope you buy enough food stuff, including garri, which you use chop in prison. Who do they want to arrest Sowore? They can't do that. I can't do that. Jude says, good, that is the spirit of Igbo man, not Igbo Ifilefos. Kudos to Wabara, okay? Sulaiman says, all what we see is that he was not detained by this regime, but there must be a force somewhere holding his release. Please, let's join hands together and look out for the holding forces and beg them for forgiveness to release him, than by force by fire. Only Almighty knows the forces behind holding him, and he that released Joseph shall release him immediately. Oh, amen. Kingsley Ogonaya says, 20th is the day, Yorubas and Lagos go get am. Nnamdi says, where is Pius? I am Nnamdi and co. They all should join the wagon. Then wow, those, okay now, they will join. Ibo Neko says, if any force block our revolution immediately same day, people on seats must book urgent flights that day. Okay, Amadi says, this is what our leaders who are closer to their grace supposed to be doing. Instead of buying for nothing in no distance time. Once one is 70, he or she is supposed not to be afraid to buy again, but that be setting records straight. Abi? Because Celestine says they'll all fly out before that day. Alba says, will you be on the front line on the day of the protest? We'll see now. We shall see now. Sonia Chizaba says, Sowore, you do this one. Now, man, you be. God bless you, sir. I love you for this bold step you took. Okay, now. Akinida says, until I get to Nigeria and stay 6 months myself and Kanu have to remain in the session, 1 in, 1 out. You are not okay. Pastor says, I pray for peace in our land, O Lord. Amen. No, amen. And listeners, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.